What's up, guys? Just a quick reminder, February 1st at 6 p.m, we are dropping brand new Bloke shirts for 50% off. So normally they're around $50. They're going to be $25. On top of that, February 1st, the biggest sale ever at Bloke in a Bar. It's going to be not only 50% off the brand new shirts, 50% off everything on the store. Singlets, board shorts, thongs, party shirts, other shirts, hats, everything. 50% off everything for 50 hours, February 1st, 6 p.m, plus brand new Bloke shirts dropping. That'll also be 50% off. So be there, set your alarms, 6 p.m, February 1st.
Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by Bloke Merch. Head to bloke.shop. We got merch everywhere. We got party shirts. We got all new Bloke shirts that you'll see on the website. Trust me, you're going to like these shirts. They haven't been released before, in new colours, new design. That's at bloke.shop. We've got hats, thongs, we've got boardies, singlets, everything. So head to bloke.shop. There's plenty of stuff there, whether it's for yourself or it's for a mate or you're looking to buy for your partner or your brother or whatever. Bloke.shop is the place to go, guys. That is www.bloke.shop. But I'm so excited to have the great Alex McKinnon on here. How you going, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's good to be here. Obviously spoke a few times about coming on, but yeah, pumped to be here today.
Mate, absolutely stoked. I mean, what have you been up to? We were speaking off air. You've been recently studying a psychology degree?
Yeah, I feel like I've finally found something that I'm really enjoying. I worked at the Knights for about 6 years in recruitment, player development, have a real passion for that space as well, but I left there in January 2022 and it's been about a year now, to be honest, and loving uni, miss it when I'm not doing it, and finally found a bit of a passion that kind of aligned with what I want to do.
Do you get the age-old question when people ask psychology, so break me down, what's my trauma?
No, not yet.
What do you reckon the Beaks trauma is? Do you reckon it's the boys spraying me in 2006, walking in with shit hair? Do you reckon that is the trauma?
Yeah, I think I'd have a few clients once I'm done, I reckon.
Oh, mate, just go listen to footy players talk at the end of their careers.
It's funny, man. Like, I'm in my second year and I don't really know what the end game is. I went into it thinking that I was going to do individual coaching, kind of mentoring of players and sports across a lot of different sports, tennis, surfing, rugby league, whatever, because I do like all sports. But I've been doing a few criminology subjects lately and I'm actually liking it, like serial killers and addiction and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
It's, mate, the criminology podcast is arguably the greatest genre of all time when it comes to like, and I don't know what it is. And look, I'm sorry to generalize, guys. I'm sorry to generalize, but I feel like chicks love that shit. My missus can't get enough of it. Like, we'll be chilling out and she's just watched
that's why I want to do criminology.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Can you imagine the classes?
Oh, mate. It'd be full.
It'd be full. Hard life, mate. It's a hard life.
We're about to go to bed. My missus just watched fucking the whole family get murdered. I'm going, what's doing here, you psycho? We're trying to be in a loving, healthy relationship and you're sleeping on people getting murdered. Anyway, so I digress. What's really interesting about the psychology side of things, though, and I still think we're worlds away, and this is not this whole, mental health route or whatever, but it's more along the lines of like, we spend millions of dollars on physical health. Like, so when you turn up to a footy team, there is like millions and millions invested in you becoming physically the best athlete you can be. And yet, what is the old saying is always, it's 10% physical and 90% mental. And so we have the saying, but we haven't really bought into that concept that it really is mental.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I think it's easy to quantify and see improvement physically. And you got a good gym trainer, you see the endurance on the field, skills trainer, kicking. Yep. You can clearly see that skill get better. So it's very hard to quantify or see improvement and say, hey, that's exactly because we got this mental coach in or this psychologist, and that's why he's doing better. So I think it's obviously a combination of things, but it's definitely a space in sport that can grow. Like, I think one of the biggest professional athletes that has brought a lot of attention to it is Ash Barty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Ash Barty coming out after her break.
She's so good.
She's the best, man.
Honestly, if she doesn't be on a $5 bill, I'll be filthy.
Yeah.
Get her on one of our notes. Yeah. She's a hero.
So I think she's been so open on her journey, mental struggles with sport and performance anxiety, and clearly detailed that. in her return to tennis, and then to see her emerge as number one player and then drop it at the top and go, hey, I don't need this.
Yeah, and I'm just going to have a family and be happy. Yeah, she's seriously one of the. I believe she's one of Australia's greatest ever athletes. Like, I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
Like, to do what she did, the way she did it, absolutely incredible. And also the way she carried herself.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of those old people. Like, back in my day, it was all about how you carried yourself, but she carried herself at all times with integrity.
Yeah, and I feel that me watching her, I thought, or haven't seen a lot of people be ultra successful that way. Like, you've always got, whether it's the bad guy or the bad girl, or the really talented one, but she's just put this combination together of character and courage and skill.
Yep.
And has just ridden it all the way through, and that's what you want.
100%.
And
it's
perfect role model.
It's such a great point too in regards to usually the best is seen as the bad guy, that ultra winner that will literally cross any line possible to win.
Yeah.
And yet, you're right, Ash Barty, that she kind of walked the fine line between being ultra competitive but just doing it with integrity at all stages. Incredible.
I see her and someone like Mick Fanning.
Yeah.
Like, they're, for me, I love those two.
Mate, you know what's crazy? Like, I don't watch surfing that much, but I love Mick Fanning because of what he did with the beer company.
Mate, I've got red hair. I don't go anywhere near the beach.
Mate, I had James Graham. We did a photo shoot. I reckon he was burning before he got into the sun. Is that possible? Can you get burnt off reflection?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe it. He was honestly in the sun for 30 seconds and he was fucking nearly burning up. It was like a vampire. The great James Graham. Listen to his podcast, The Buy Round. It's a fantastic podcast if you're listening to this. Similar to this, they do interviews and that. So The Buy Round. It's on your podcast app. Give it a search. Anyway, back to yourself. Back to the psychology thing. Another thing that's really interesting is, like, you mentioned, like, kicking coach, catching coach, strength coach, sprint coach, arguably long distance coach. Like, you could get that detailed in regards to nutritionist. It's like, if someone said to you, we'll have an aggression coach, we'll have a pressure coach. Sounds a bit crazy, but, like, why not? When half of the battle, or maybe more, is mental.
Yeah.
And I know that's I'm speaking way out.
No.
I'm comparing the two of, like, how it seems crazy, but I'm sure then we may get to a point where
you'll definitely move with the time.
Yes,
it has to, mate.
Surely.
Yeah. I think Australia gets bigger, rugby league gets bigger, the game becomes way more professional. I mean, the game is probably still in its early stages of being a professional sport, which might sound crazy, but
what, Super League pretty much.
Super League 97, 98.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 30 years of professional sport, and the growth in that space is only going to move into that. And you call it mental health, but it's more around, like, performance-based psychology. And I think the people who pay the bills or make the decisions will start to recognise that, hey, maybe there's something here, and they'll start to benefit and put time into it. And that's, I think, the most important thing. It's not necessarily what you say, it's your actions, and particularly as a football club or a sporting organisation, if you're able to provide or create a space for it, like time-wise, equally as much as you're on the field, you're in the gym, and you're also having one-on-one consults with someone, that's when it starts to get valued by the ones up top, and then more money gets put into it, and it's a bit of a cycle. But players, there's not a player that I've spoke to before that hasn't seen a benefit in it. They just don't have the time for it.
They have the time for it. But, like, when you think of, okay, most clubs just give them one mental coach. But when you think of it, like, okay, if I was to walk in and we had anxiety coach or whatever, those activities that I would be doing with that anxiety coach would be much different to, let's say, later in the day I had warrior coach and it was a bloke telling, like, how to be super aggressive. And these are two different, like, this guy can't really, or girl, can't really teach you the same things as this. And yet it's mental. It's all mental.
Yeah. I and you say girl, like, I think there's a real role for females in rugby league and professional sport. It's such a masculine game and physical and aggressive.
Yeah.
A majority of staff in football clubs are male. You play with men. So having an element of a female in there, it's definitely beneficial.
Different angle. Seeing things from a different angle always helps.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I moved away from home when I was 13 years old to go to boarding school. You know what I mean? And then I didn't return home. So even my relationship with my mum, we're close, but I didn't see her much.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you hear people talk about the Roosters, they talk about Kath.
Yeah.
I don't know her. But it's very interesting to hear them always talking about her and their transition into the Roosters and how they feel at home and talk about psychology. I reckon if you spoke to Trent Robertson, the way he addresses his players and thinks about his plan for the year and building them into their progression into the finals, I reckon it would be 50% of a psychological approach to what he does and why he does it.
Yeah.
And the best coaches do. Wayne Bennett,
he's all psychological, really. He does it. Trainings is actually, his pre-seasons are some of the easier ones, honestly. And that sounds crazy to say. In regards, it's funny you say the Roosters, because I was going to bring up the Roosters. Trent Robinson, he has this very warrior, Spartan kind of, I think I watched a podcast with Mark Boris.
Yeah, me too.
And I was shocked. He was talking about, I think Julius Caesar or something, his diaries, and I was going, holy, this is way more than rugby league. We're talking life principles that can guide you in any situation.
Yeah, I think Trent Robertson has a great ability to deliver a message and get a group to buy in. And whether that's through theming a season or theming different bunches of the season now, I believe some people could be too smart.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got to remember, and I was one of them, like a low socioeconomic background, wasn't the smartest kid, and I'm here to play football. So you can't be talking about philosophy and all this other stuff. It just goes straight over my head. But he has a great ability to, not dumb it down, but simplify the message and then just smash it. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the best orators are the ones that can take complex messages and make them simple, because
that's Wayne Bennett, man.
Yeah, speaking to the masses. Like the craziness that Wayne Bennett has lasted as long as he's had. If you were to take the average NRL player from 30 years ago and compare it to the average NRL player now, they are honestly they're not even the same, close to the same person.
Nah.
But he's managed to mold his self to whatever the situation needs.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I
also think his recruitment strategy, and it wouldn't be detailed on paper, but in his decisions that he makes, I believe he surrounds himself with those players that have those characteristics of those of the past. So, yes, people are all changing and he's able to deal with the new breed or the new generation of young players, but he also surrounds himself consistently with those experienced men that are leaders that then
funnel his message down.
Yeah, he puts them on the pedestal and they deserve it, but then the young ones coming through, they see that he respects that.
Yep, and they try to emulate it. Yeah.
I've been a part of it, mate. I know I've saw it.
What happened to Knights? Everyone was like, oh, he's recruiting all these old blokes. And it was like the best you'd played. You made the prelim.
Yeah. And we had a lot of good young kids coming through after that.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dane Gagai was there. BJ Lelu was playing the best footy he's ever played. I mean,
big BJ. Holy.
Aku was just not just coming in, but he was already there, but he was still quite young.
Yeah.
I mean, Corbyn's
is one of the most underrated wingers of the generation. If you go look at his try scored, I think he's number one for his period.
Yeah, at the Knights. Yeah, 100%. Oh, his period, but definitely at the Knights.
Overall, if you go look at his, maybe give it a Google. He's up there. He's right up there.
He's the best jockey. I love him.
Is he, mate? He gave me.
I've never met someone ever like him.
Oh, Uarte?
Oh, he's just.
Mate, he fended the shit out of me once when I played him. Honestly, I was like, where the did that come from? Straight through my chest.
He's all hip and ass and a small torso. You can't tackle him, man.
Boom, straight in my chest. And I was like, holy moly. You know when you kind of sometimes get in the flow of a game and then something will happen when you go, oh, I wasn't concentrating. Yeah. That was that moment where I was like, oh, shit, I wasn't actually thinking that this dude that's 6'1", fucking 95 kilos, super strong, can fend me a hole through my chest.
Some people are just different.
Yeah, he's a beast. Absolute beast. Mate, what else has been going on? So obviously you worked in recruitment at the Knights. What was that like? Give the listener that, we look at it and we go, oh, such and such is getting paid $1 million, and we all hear these rumours and rah and why are they doing this or why are they doing that? What's one of the biggest misconceptions about recruitment?
The biggest misconceptions, I wouldn't say it's a misconception, but I think a lot of people believe the recruitment space is fair. And I don't see it as fair. I don't think every club has equal opportunity to players. Yes, they all get the same salary cap, and you could make the opinion, which is not correct, but they all might have the same third parties. But clear access to players and the ability to get them to your club. Some clubs just have the stranglehold on that funnel of good young players coming through, and some clubs just don't.
Okay.
So it's not fair.
So are we talking more about the funnel of young players rather than the recruitment of established players?
Both really,
okay.
yeah. It comes down to, you see Penrith, you can go the development style, or you can go the other way. And if you're willing to go the other way, it really leverages a lot and depends on relationships and between recruitment manager, coach, agent, confidence in ability to develop, and a lot of those relationships are 10, 20, 30 years long. Like so you see someone like Phil Gould that goes to Canterbury.
Yeah.
They can't get anyone.
Yeah.
Look at their sign this year.
Yeah.
And it's not money.
It's his relationships.
It's his relationships, mate. And they trust him.
Yeah.
They trust that Gus Gould says this is what's going to happen and we'll put you in this position and you're going to benefit from it. And the agent trusts Phil and they've got a good coach there now. And coincidentally, a lot of good players go there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So, but in regards to my development in that...
What about, sorry, just quickly on that. What about the argument that some fans would make, well, just clubs be better so that they want to go there? Is it a bit more complicated?
It's very hard because of the... there's a lot of turnover in clubs. General managers, recruitment managers, development pathway managers. So that high turnover of staff is very tough to have a consistent plan to make any change.
Yeah.
So your club just gets stuck because your team's not doing well. Well, they want to change everything. A new coach comes in, bing bang, everything changes, and what you're messaging or how you want to do things just changes. So you don't get any consistency. Therefore, agents don't see confidence in your club. So why would I put a player there?
Yeah.
If I'm an agent, why would I put a player at a club that consistently changes and I can't trust who makes the decision for them to be there?
It's interesting you say that because I think it was Random Stats Guy. Apologies for getting this wrong. But there was some kind of stat with like every team that had won the comp in the last whatever years, a large amount of years, all of their head coaches essentially had been around for 5 or 6 years or something along those lines. And that stability that you're talking about.
In ownership, in CEO, in general manager, in coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that element of whoever's controlling what your club's about and how to do it, it's so important to have consistency in those positions. But in relation to myself, after I got injured, just before I got injured, I'd signed a 2-year deal with the Knights. So I was already going to get paid for the next 2 years. In the February after my injury, I come back and worked at the club in junior recruitment because I really wanted to be a recruitment manager. I love that space. I always wanted to do that. I thought that's a job that I could actually fulfill and enjoy. So I started at that ground level of part-time junior recruitment and building relationships within the community and watching junior footy. And I loved it, man. Yeah. And it's a space I still enjoy. I still love watching the young kids play and slowly trying to learn and progress through that. But it's an interesting game. Yeah.
I feel like I think a lot of fans may be unaware of the amount of work that goes into recruitment rather than just like rocking up and seeing a player play and go, and maybe this does happen, but go, oh, yep, he's good, we'll take him. I think people may not realise like the numbers, the stat sheets, the things that aren't available to the public in regards to statistics, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure is pretty incredible.
For sure, mate. And the most that I believe is the most time consuming is, I'll give you a snapshot. So I go and watch Hayley, she's a girl, go and watch her play on the weekend. All right? I want to sign her. Everybody else has seen her.
Yeah.
So then I've got to build a relationship with mum and dad with integrity, not lie.
Yeah.
Build that connection, get time with her mum and dad, and get them to feel confident in me. The next step then is the agent. You've got to put the offer, and it's got to be competitive.
Yeah.
Or financially or development. You've got to be able to provide them with financially, we're kind of on the same par. We might be a bit less, but development. This is how I'm going to develop her to become the next superstar.
Next
or at
Billy
least
Boyle.
give her the opportunity to do that. She signs. 3-year deal. My job's done.
Yeah.
I've identified it. We've signed her. Got her to the club. But my relationship with the family now, I need to make sure that everything that I promised comes through.
Yeah, yeah.
But it ain't my job to do that. But if you haven't got consistency in who's developing them, development coaches, GM, how you go about that whole process, and that's consistently changing over that 3 years, well, my integrity with that family is hard to maintain because I'm trying to manage this whole cycle of everything to make sure that my word or what I promised them comes true. Yes. So that's where you spend most of your time, mate. It's post that. But if you're at a good club, and there was a period at the Knights where they were consistent in that stuff and they had a really strong junior pathway, and consistency in the staff, I could be confident that once my job was done, I'd hand them to the next person, and everything that I was promised would be delivered. Yeah. And you can be at peace. But if you're at a club that doesn't do that, or if there's change up top, I can't be confident in that's going to be delivered, which was hard, mate.
Yeah, I mean, as something as small as like
from 15,
an SG ball coach gets changed.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden she's not playing or
whatever, she's not on the team
because the coach doesn't rate her. The new coach doesn't rate her.
Mum goes to me, "Why isn't she playing?"
Yeah, you said that she'd be playing. Right?
I'm going, wow.
Wow.
I love NFL. I enjoy watching AFL. They're probably my two sports I like to watch. Team sports outside of rugby league.
I was going to say, don't go to the dark side, bro.
No,
Jesus.
I love watching my footy, but I like to have
a wide range of
sport.
sport.
I do.
Mine's pretty much boxing, MMA that I enjoy.
I like MMA. I like my tennis. I like cricket.
Yeah. I fucking love cricket, bro. Great at it too. Done.
Expert.
Yeah.
In particular, you look at say AFL and NFL. They got a draft, man. And the biggest thing for the game and those games, those sports, they can sell hope. And I believe hope is everything in the aspect of life.
Yeah.
You talk about the team that comes last this year. What hope do they have?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got a whole off season. You're up against it, and you don't get the number one pick. So what am I doing?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Whereas in the AFL, or if you're in the NFL, my team's not going real good, but I got the number one pick.
Yeah,
and he's the best quarterback coming out.
So do you feel the NRL should introduce the draft?
Yeah, man. There needs to be some element of advantage to make it fairer.
Yeah.
For those teams that aren't winning.
Because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in NRL. The big dogs are staying the big outside of the Broncos, stay the big dogs as long as they don't do anything stupid. Because they'll be able to continue to recruit the best.
And contracts are guaranteed. So you can be a coach that comes in and your whole roster could be blocked out for the next 2 years. And if the club is in a spot where those players aren't up to what they're on value, you've just got to, unfortunately, eat a shit sandwich for 2 years and hope that you stay in a job and can improve the players that you got and slowly make the turnover. But if you can't do that, like, it's hard to make change. And there's no, it's no coincidence that that the same teams are kind of up the top in rugby league. And I just believe content-wise and content and hope and things to watch outside of the game.
And keeping the fans of the lower teams
engaged,
engaged.
Man.
Yeah.
You got to. Like, there's, 26 games in a season? And there's a lot of meaningless games.
Tell me about it. Watch them all and it gives me a migraine.
Unless you're going to adjust the top 8 and make it a top 6 and then make a 4-team wild card to create spots for players and teams to be more engaged and fans, there needs to be something done there. If you're going to keep expanding the comp, there needs to be more hope for that team and those supporters that aren't going the best.
Yeah. What's really interesting, actually, is I think data just came in. Rugby league is the most viewed sport in Australia. We beat AFL.
Yeah, wow.
Which I was shocked as well. Like, I was going. So, obviously, AFL gets bigger crowds, no denying. But it's at the raw.com. I think it's raw.com.au. And, yeah, stats are in. Rugby league. And that was not even including Origin.
Yeah.
If you throw in Origin, it's like
I remember going to the rookie camp.
Oh, the rookie camp. Yeah. I remember the rookie camp.
The best.
Oh, my God. Yep.
And we sat there and they were talking about NYC.
Yep.
It was like 2000.
So just for people listening, the rookie camp is essentially all the young, 2 or 3 people from each club that are going to probably play NRL in the next 12 to, and basically what it's set up to is to educate you of the pitfalls of being a professional rugby league player.
100%. You get past players to come in, you get advice on accounting, a lot of different elements that maybe clubs don't have the time to or can give it in depth.
I like dealing with women.
Yeah.
Respectfully, and all that kind of stuff, which is
different
important.
Cultures.
I do think that obviously I feel like we can be much better, obviously. But these things are being, the young players are being told, and the NRL is trying to educate them in how to handle themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember 2009, we sat there and NYC, the Toyota Cup or whatever it was, Holden Cup, under 20s comp, had started in 2008. So I went in 2009 to the rookie camp, and they were showing us data on people who are viewing the game for you to recognise that you are a role model, whether you like it or not, and that people are watching. And the NYC games and the competition the viewership was significantly larger than the A-League.
Wow. That's fucking
after
crazy.
2 years. It just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was averaging over 250,000 a game.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. They had a product in the NYC Toyota Cup under 20s model, which you could sell.
Yeah.
And people can view it.
Yeah.
But it's not there anymore.
I don't think it's there. Well, just in my opinion, I just didn't think it was good for the game in regards to developing players. I think it was good for the game as a spectator, but I just thought the amount of young forwards that would come out of 20s and try and play first grade and get absolutely fucking pounded into the earth.
Yeah.
Backs, I thought they handled it a bit better, but I do think that they need to play with men to get the development. But again, what do I know?
I love the 20s. I love that that product, how you do it.
Yep.
And if you think about the NFL, America, they've got college.
Okay.
And you go from college, you go draft, you go to into the professional sport. And if you think back, you were around. Think of 2008, 2009, 2010, the players that come through in that wave. I think about the Bronx: Andrew McCulloch, Alex Glenn, Gerard Yaye, Benny Hunt, Matt Gillette, Jared Beale.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. Josh Maguire.
Yeah. Josh Hoffman.
Yeah. Mate, that bunch was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Canberra, Jared Croker.
Dugan.
Mate,
The great Dugan.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah,
and the Bromwich brothers and Widdop. I mean, there was players there that made that leap in 2008, 2009, 2010. But they have 10-year careers.
What do you reckon about then a national reserve grade comp?
Yeah, I think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I reckon you could probably sell that if a bit of money was put into it in the sense that you're getting a high quality product. The players are getting paid enough where they could be near professional.
Yeah.
I think you get a pretty good product out of that. Because what I reckon with that, because isn't college NFL, it's kind of a different game to NFL, if you know what I mean?
The rules are a little bit different.
Yep.
But still quite similar.
Yeah.
It's just a different entity. And we could sit here and talk about this for days because I'm very passionate about it. But I believe development pathways shouldn't be the responsibility of the club. It should be the responsibility of the NRL.
Okay.
And then if you detach that and clubs and the game, say, for example, the NRL pay a club to develop this area. Say it's Newcastle, Maitland, Central Coast. Say the Knights had that area.
Yeah.
They're paid by the club. They'll employ someone that the NRL play. They'll develop them, and they play as that region. So you got under 20s comps that are under 20s teams. The competition is governed by the NRL and essentially paid for, but the club don't have to pay the players. The reserve grade can be ran by your club. So once you make the jump from under 20s comp into a club, they then have a reserve grade competition, which might be state run.
Yeah.
So you can still have that exposure to older players and dropping them in, dropping them out. But essentially the under 20s team and the under 20s competition is owned by the NRL and run by the NRL. And it's more a region-based competition. rather than you haven't got young kids moving away.
Yeah.
I believe it's more of a model that the NRL can control and grow.
Yeah.
And because you got some clubs that don't invest in junior development.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more controllable way of doing it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because as well, like...
And you got a product, man, that the NRL owns. People are going to watch it.
Oh, for sure.
And also, you're going to be more invested. The old argument that a young player doesn't want to move away from home. Bullshit. Yeah, he mightn't want to.
Yeah, you do it.
I see it every single day.
Yeah.
There's a million examples, but Xavier Savage, he's from North Queensland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played for Canberra.
Yep. And he was one of the best young kids coming through. Yeah.
I could make an argument for a lot of those. Kalen Pong was in North Queensland.
Yeah.
He come and played at night.
It's an interesting because, again, we were talking about trying to keep the younger generation engaged in the comp. If the NRL is taking care of the 15-year-olds onwards, if you're a 10,
they're going to be developed correctly there, mate.
100%. And on top of that, like if you're 10 to 12 years old, there's a clear, direct path of like, this is where I need to get into to eventually get up to the higher level or whatever. Yeah, I don't mind that for sure, actually. I really like that idea where the NRL owns it, sells it as a youthful competition that may be a bit faster, maybe a bit more points or whatever. Made a few rule changes for this next generation of fan.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you think about this, Sean Cobbo, right? One of the best young kids coming into the comp. If you had a draft in between that section between under 20s or under 19s or whatever it is, and then to the NRL team, if Sean Cobbo's playing for Sunny Coast, which is where his area is, and the Tigers are coming last, all right? Those Tigers fans, I guarantee you, mate, every single week they're watching Sunny Coast.
That's so true.
Because they're going, we get this guy. We can't wait. I don't care that we got bit by 50.
Yeah.
Or Reece Walsh is coming through.
Yeah.
I'm the Dogs. Yeah, I can't wait for Reece Walsh to be playing.
That's such
you
a good
start
point.
to love that. Oh, then you go, is Reece Walsh better than Sean Cobbo? Well,
and what about this guy? And what about this guy?
Yeah.
Is he going to be number one?
Or is a halfback that's coming through? Ezra Mann.
Yeah.
He'd be good at our club. What's better? Do we want a fullback or a six?
Yeah.
What's more important to us?
It engages the fans so much more.
Year round.
Gets me pumped thinking about it.
Yeah, I love that stuff. In the NFL, I'll stop talking about it now, but it's an 18-week comp. You get 20 other weeks in the comp in the year to focus on things.
Yeah.
And they get more viewerships through the draft conversations and the draft and that than games.
Far out.
What's the NRL got?
Nothing, just me talking shit.
Hey, I remember at the start of 2022 when the women's played up at Redcliffe and had the final series now. That was when I got into it because there's nothing else on.
Yeah. And
I started to really enjoy it. Man, I was thinking last night, it was a game, the Broncos versus the Dragons. And the Dragons knocked them off, come back. Man, it was unbelievable. That's when I started to get into watching the NRL Debut. Before then, I wasn't that interested. But it's placed in a spot where there's actually time for you to sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
You're not smashed with a lot of other content on the game, and you actually get to sit back and appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, there's a lot of times where I didn't plan to watch it at all, and it just happened to be on. And before I knew it, I was watching Millie Boyle steamroll some poor girl, and then she dogged Broncos and left us and went to the Knights. So whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is. Actually, she was at the Knights this year, wasn't she? But the year before that, I think I don't know. Did I message her and say I don't know? I might have been one of those toxic fans that was like, "You're fucking dead to me,
Traitor.
Fucking dead to me, you traitor." She's a gun though. She's an
the
absolute
best.
gun.
I still think at the Newcastle Knights right now, she's the club's best leader.
She's a gun.
She's unbelievable, mate.
She's a gun.
The way she carries herself, you see her getting around town, the job that she does in the community.
She works with like disabled kids and that.
Yeah, she's incredible,
What's
mate.
the name of her company again?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
I know, like it starts with an M maybe, but anyway, yeah, she literally has a company with other partners helping disabled kids.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure clubs are involved in that as well, and she takes it.
Yep.
Is able to take it to the different areas.
Yep. Anyway, let's get back to the great Alex McKinnon. Mate. So whereabouts were you born? Were you back south?
I was born in Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's around 1,500 people.
Yep.
Aberdeen's north of inland, north of Newcastle. It's about an hour and a half to
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were a down south Illawarra guy.
Nah. So I grew up in Aberdeen, small town, and went from only child, being around a local footy club.
Yep.
Local fields named after my pop.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Dad looked after the ground there and coached
good.
teams and that. So I grew up in rugby league in a small town. It made me really recognise the role that a football club can play in the town and the role that it does bringing people together. The understanding that they are role models. Like I remember coming through, I went into a talk about 2 months before I got injured back home with Wayne because the club wasn't going too well. So we went back home just to sell tickets and make a bit of cash for the town. And they hit me up on the spot. They go, like, who was your favourite players coming through? Like, who was your role models? And I named about 5 of the local players.
Oh, no way.
And they're standing up the back like pissing themselves laughing. I'm serious. Like they were my heroes. Like, I didn't know Kevy Walters or I didn't know Andrew Johns or Brad Fittler. I loved them, but they weren't my role models.
You couldn't see him.
Man.
There was no relation. Could I be that?
Nah.
Like, you knew the local players though.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I had a conversation with someone the other day about young players growing up in Newcastle, and they get to see Kalen Ponga at the beach. It's real. You can touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can see the stadium. I mean, I was at Aberdeen.
Yeah.
We had a local field, and I loved my local players. They're still to my day. My dad, I come around to Dad's, and I'm in awe of them still.
Mate, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's, I suppose, my love for rugby league grew from that. Played local footy. We usually could field a team, sometimes not field a full team.
Yep.
Because Aberdeen's quite a small town. The surrounding towns are about 10,000, 15,000. So we're always a small town, but we competed against the bigger teams, the bigger towns. But I loved it, mate. Yeah,
It's funny that local field. Like, I grew up on the Gold Coast, the country Gold Coast, and so in Mudgeerbar, like a local soccer field. Like the Titans weren't in the comp yet. I didn't even follow rugby league growing up. So like the Mudgee local soccer field, that was my stadium. Like that was my mecca.
Yeah.
Like, and it's still in my head. Is like,
Yeah, me too.
You know, and like even the soccer players that used to be a few years up, like I would just be like, oh, guns, man.
I think
guns.
about now wanting to go back and coach Aberdeen.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is me and my brother.
Seeing Sam Burgess go
yeah.
back and coach local league. I was like, I want to do that.
You know what's fucking mental? Is literally 2 nights ago, me and my brother were discussing like how cool would it be to buy a soccer club on the Gold Coast and run it. And so it's like similar situation. Yeah. Like I'd love to buy Mudgee and bloody run the club or coach these young kids.
Yeah.
Probably be too aggressive for the young kids these in soccer. Telling them to don't fake any injuries. I mean, that kills me, man, watching. Anyway, mate, so basically, so you grow up locally. At what point did you always excel in rugby league, or was it a late bloomer?
I was always okay. Like I was solid. I was always quite tall and I loved footy, so I was quite committed. I always trained hard. I was able to always be around the field, so I was training with multiple teams. You know, I was training with the first grade team when I was like 12, 13 years old because I was just there. Dad was looking after the field. Yep. He was strapping, so I used to go along. So, I was always around the team, that type of stuff. But I was okay, made the local Group 21 rep sides. I was okay, man.
Yeah.
I didn't think I wasn't a superstar. I definitely wasn't the best in the area.
Yeah, okay.
But I went to boarding school year 9. So when I was
Campbelltown.
Yeah, in St. Greg's. When I was 14.
How hard was that?
I remember crying, man. Like not to sound weird, but from year 6 to go to community college at Aberdeen St. Joey's, a lot of the surrounding areas come to that school, and I was there year 7 and 8, and I met some lifelong friends.
Yep.
And I'm an only child, and obviously going into that environment, I was just like, I felt like I was welcomed, and I loved the group of friends that I had. And I was just like, why am I like I feel so comfortable here. I love it. But I always had the vision, and my dad, I used to always say, why only one kid? Why did you only have one kid? And they always said to me, like, we want to give you the best opportunity at life.
Yeah. And
it always stayed with me, man. And they wanted to send me to boarding school.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember my mum and dad saying to me, this is your choice, mate.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to push. If you don't want to go, don't go.
Oh, okay.
So then you can do like visits. So I went down to St. Greg's in year 8. I was 13 years old. He stayed the weekend. I had a mate that was already there.
Yep.
He was from Scone. I went to primary school with him.
Yep.
And I had two mates that were there. And I went and stayed down there. I remember just not being able to sleep that night. And if you know St. Greg's, all the boarding houses are up the top of the ovals.
Yep.
And back then, the two main football fields were literally out your window. And then it stepped down to 12 football fields down the bottom.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
So I remember going to sleep. We stayed one night there as a visitor, and I sat there and I looked out the window and I'm like, this is where I'm meant to be. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. This is
Footy field right there.
bro. Two main football fields, the history of St. Greg's,
Yeah.
and then 12 football fields down the bottom. Like, mate, I'm in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally heaven, man.
And so when you got down there, did you fit in immediately, or did you struggle a little bit, or loved it? Because you're already a single child, so
Bro, we played touch footy every afternoon.
yeah, wow.
Went to the gym every afternoon. Ran to the back fence, ran to from the boarding house or the gym to the local dairy, which is about 2K.
Yep.
Every afternoon.
Yeah,
I was always a kid that carried a bit of weight. Carried a bit of weight, bit overweight when I was like 12, 13.
Carried a bit of weight. I love that. That's great.
But as I got to like 14, 15, I just dropped weight. I was always a tall kid, loved me footy, aggressive when I played. And mate, I remember going home to play a local rep team because they still wanted me to go home sometimes and play because Dad was coaching.
Yeah.
And we went home and played for Group 21. And we went up and played in Tweed Heads. And funnily enough, I played against two players that I'd become quite close friends with. It was Jacob Miller and Chase Blair.
No way.
They were playing for Group 18.
Yeah.
And I went up there. I'm back playing with the old group and that. And mate, I just fucking ripped it up.
Yeah.
I
So
just
your
went
skill set and everything had just gone from
through the
here
roof, man.
to up here. Yeah,
Just because I was around other players, I felt the pressure and the expectation. And I was just at the gym and I was just playing touch footy every afternoon.
Yeah.
Loving it. And from that point, I found a bit of confidence. I still am today. I had a bit of imposter syndrome. And even when I was playing NRL, mate, not thinking that, am I really meant to be here? Like, it's something that really drove me. But that was probably one of the times where I was like, no. Like, you're meant to be here, mate, and you're doing a good job. So going back to St. Greg's the next year, year 10, I made the Australian merit team, player of the tournament.
Wow.
And from that point, man, I didn't miss a rep team till I got injured.
Yeah, wow.
So I kind of went on a bit of a run, went from under 15s Australian merit team, under 16s New South Wales, under 18s New South Wales as a 17-year-old captained it, under 18s New South Wales, and under 20s New South Wales as a 19-year-old.
You said that you used to run 2Ks every day. Like, there's one thing playing touch footy every day.
Yeah.
It's another thing just running 2Ks every day. That means you are actively deciding to get fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think conditioning and endurance, it's the hardest thing to do. But if you're able to do it and stick with it, it's the area that you'll find the most benefit for. And I think for young kids coming through, they'll lift weights and they'll do sprint training and they'll play touch footy, but they won't commit to that endurance.
Yeah.
And if you're able to, at the highest level, stay in the game, if you can't keep up, man, if you're not in the game, don't play.
Seriously.
I don't care how skillful you are. When the game's on the line, if you're not fit enough to be in the game, you're not in the game, man.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I learned from like right when I was young, that I need to be fit. And even if I'm not as skillful as some other players, if I'm there and they're not,
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man.
100%.
I've heard it's something that it's stuck with him, but I heard Willie Mason say the other day, the best ability is availability. And bro, it's you think about Cameron Smith.
Oh, man.
I mean, always available.
Yeah.
And not only playing wise, but in the game.
Yeah.
And he kept up.
I never seen him gassed.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen him on his haunches going, sucking in the big ones. He's always ready to go. And I mean, you're absolutely right. And you even look at a guy like, for example, and I'm sorry for my podcast, I've heard this a million times, but like, what's Tedesco and Billy Slater's biggest weapons? They'll say speed, strength. It's their repeat ability constantly at a high pace. Yeah. It's their fitness.
Teddy turns up
every single time.
When it matters.
Every single time.
Yeah, man.
It's his fit. It's both of their fitnesses. Their fitness is easily their biggest weapon.
There's two, I think you say it now, I think of two moments with Teddy. Teddy's support in the grand final with the Roosters.
Yeah.
Latrell short side flick.
Yep.
Tupu
Yep.
inside ball. Teddy turns up. They win the comp.
Yeah.
And the other one is
Don't say it.
Pierce hits Fergie.
Fuck!
And the man Fergie's down the sideline
Yeah.
and does his pirouette, passes the ball to Tedesco. They win.
Yeah.
And that's at the last moment of the game, man.
Yeah.
And you just got to be in it. And that's something which I learned from a young age, and it stayed with me my whole career, man.
It's really, and the thing, like,
It's hard to do.
It's hard. It's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, man.
It's the most uncomfortable, boring shit.
Yeah.
It's shit. And like with Teddy, like if we took those 2 moments out of Teddy's career, like that, they are career-defining plays. They aren't skill, they aren't speed, they aren't power. They're just mental toughness and fitness. That's the literally it's not like he out-sprinted a million people. He was just fit enough to get there without anyone else.
Yeah,
For example, are you telling me that like Queensland? Are you telling me there wasn't someone as fast as Teddy that could have turned around and at least?
Sure, he ran
gotten
past
close
a lot
to
of players.
Yeah. And so, yeah, mate, I totally agree.
I went to school with Teddy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, Teddy was 2 years younger than me at school.
Mate, the Italian stallion.
He played halfback, and when I left school, and you start to become a bit more focused on yourself when you go into that next level.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't focus. He was at Tigers, and I kind of lost contact with watching where they were up to.
Yeah.
I remember round 1, Teddy's at fullback for the West Tigers.
Oh, really?
I'm going, what?
What? He's a half.
What's going on here, man?
Wow.
He does his knee
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
But then from there, the ultra professional, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very inspiring for a lot of young players out there to see how he's faced his adversities with injuries and how professional he's become. It's really inspiring for some young players.
Oh, mate, absolutely. And again, drilling into these young players, like okay, he's a crazy tackle breaker, but it's his work ethic.
But he wasn't always that.
No, it wasn't always that. His ball playing wasn't always incredible. There's so many things, and yet he's arguably the most consistent player in the NRL.
Yeah.
And that all comes from training ethic.
So when I went to boarding school, year 9 to year 12 at St. Greg's, and I signed with the Dragons when I was 15.
Yep.
When I left St. Greg's, I was 17 when I finished the school because I was a year young, and I left the school 2009. So Wayne had signed with the club in 2009
Yep.
to come down to the Dragons. And I moved in with Darius Boyd.
Yeah.
So Darius Boyd at that time was 23 years old.
Yeah, yeah. 22 even, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Marquito was playing 20s,
Yeah.
and I was 17. But I remember moving in there into a house. They had a good house. They had a massive unit.
Yeah.
I remember moving in there, and there was nights where I'd be at home playing Sony. I'm still 17. I can't go out.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to be one of them. And also, if I get caught out young, sure, I was tall enough to get in. They would look after me, but it's just not how I wanted to be seen.
And you didn't have the runs on the board to
Nah,
get.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not at all. And I was sitting at home playing Sony. Mate, 12 o'clock, the harp would shut. They'd all come down from the harp straight into the apartment. I'm sitting at home playing Sony, and there's just people rolling in the house. I'm like, I was just sitting there going, holy shit.
Mate.
I could not believe.
Darius couldn't miss a night out back then. He couldn't miss a night out.
But the thing I learned about
Trained his
Darbs
ass
from
off.
that point, mate, there's no one that's trained harder than him, ever.
Yeah.
Bro, next morning, weights.
Yeah.
He ate so clean.
Yeah, they're so clean.
Bro, so clean. Trained so hard.
Yeah.
Never arrogant to me or any of the players. I mean, he was just an ultra, like he was like Teddy.
Yeah.
Mate, the ultra professional.
Yeah.
And I was young and I'm a sponge, mate. I love to absorb things and watch people. And me watching him, he'd play games. And if he's not sore, man, he's doing weights the next day.
Yeah. That's a lot of things that like a lot of people may not know about Darbs. Is like his training ethic is it's one of the best.
The best I've seen.
One of the best in any squad,
His strength, his speed, his fitness, everything. Mate, when he come to the Dragons, played on the wing at the Bronx.
Yep.
But you'd know, he come through as a fullback.
Yep.
He could play fullback at a high level. All that preseason in 2009, he trained at centre. Brett Morris was the fullback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Dell and Nightingale were the wingers.
Yeah, because I don't think Wayne saw him as a fullback.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So Dubs was the centre. They played one trial. BMOS couldn't pass. So BMOS goes to reserve grade. Dubs goes to fullback. Bo Scott goes to centre.
Yeah, wow.
That year, if you think about this in a whole nutshell, Jace Nightingale gets injured in the first game of the year, okay? Brett Morris starts the year in reserve grade.
Yeah.
He finishes it as the top try scorer in the NRL and plays for Australia.
Yeah.
Dubs plays fullback.
Yeah.
Nearly wins a Daily M, wins a comp, Clive Churchill, 2010.
Yeah. Crazy. I reckon the Dragons was his best footy.
Oh, for sure.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and they had a great team. I was a young kid at the Dragons. I played under 20s when I was 16.
What was that like playing under 20s when you're 16?
Hectic.
Were you wigging out?
Yeah, man. But my first game, I remember Nathan Gardner we played Para.
Yeah.
Nathan Gardner scored a hat trick in 18 minutes. I was sitting on the bench going, holy shit. Like Keating, Mortimer, Timorimi, Mena Brothers, Tony Williams, all these players, man. My second game, 20s again, was against the Roosters. I mean, like Hardgraves, Martin Kennedy.
Oh, yuck.
Bro.
Yuck.
There was a fight in that game.
Oh, really?
Dragons versus Roosters.
Yep.
You can YouTube it, man.
Oh, is it crazy?
I'm on the sideline. It's hectic. Craziest fight I've ever seen in my whole life. Someone got kicked on the ground. Like,
no way.
Yeah, it's hectic, man. You can easily search it on YouTube. But
yeah, I'll have to look at it later.
I'm so lucky to come through that club because I was always surrounded with so many good leaders, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I was a sponge, and I love that shit, man. Like, and guys like Ben Cray.
Yeah, Benny Cray.
Bo Scott, Dean Young.
Yeah.
Mark Gasnier, Matt Cooper.
Guns.
Wendell.
Oh,
Nightingale. BMOS.
Yep.
Sowie. Benny Hornby. Nathan Feen.
How good.
Jeremy Smith.
Yeah.
I mean Matty Pryor. Like I'm so lucky to come through that bunch. Mick Wayman.
Mickey Wayman.
But mate, they were just the ultra competitors. They were professional. They were at a point in their career where they were pissed off, man, on how things had gone.
Yeah.
And they were taking control.
Yeah. And
I was so lucky to come through that bunch, and I learnt so much from them. And again, that's the environment that Wayne creates with those players.
Yeah.
Like people talk about Wayne and his time at the Dragons, and even the team that he had at the Dragons. A lot of people say, they're all developed and most of them were there. If you look at the 2010 grand final team, right? Fullback, Darbs, wasn't there. BMOS had just played first grade, but hadn't played a lot of it. And Gaz comes back after being at being away playing rugby.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Benny Hornby was a fullback. Wayne made him a halfback.
Yeah.
Sowie comes, plays 6.
Yep.
Has a run where he plays representative football and arguably one of the best kickers to play the game.
Yeah. Mick
Wayman comes from Canberra after injury-riddled history where everyone had written him off.
Yep.
You got Dean Young, you got Feensy, Nathan Feen comes and plays hooker.
Yep.
And Bo Scott come back from Cronulla.
Yep.
Jeremy Smith at lock. I mean, Trent Merrin emerges as this young player. Safi. I mean, you got all these players that Wayne has brought in and developed and got the best out of. And I don't think he gets enough credit publicly in regards to that 2010 season and what they did, mate. Like, fucking incredible. And I'm, again, so grateful that I was there at that time and that club. I'm really passionate about the Dragons and what they've got there.
So you get signed, and then Wayne, when was the first year that you basically started training with the first grade squad?
So I finished school I was 17 in the November, and then went straight into pre-season with NRL at 17. So
wow,
crazy, man.
Heavy.
Yeah, I dropped about 12 kilo.
Yeah, wow.
In that pre-season, and tough, man. Heaps of endurance and long distance running.
Yeah. And just the mental side of it, like people, they're trying to break you mentally. I don't care what anyone says, especially the young fellas. They want to see who's got it and who doesn't.
Yeah. And in me reflecting on my time as a recruitment manager, I probably didn't value the mental toughness or those type of players. A lot of times you go for this big swing, the most talented 1% player that's your Latrell Mitchell or this superstar. I probably valued that a little bit too much.
Yep.
And kind of got away from valuing the reliable, tough, hard-working player that, you know, when chips are down, they turn up.
Yeah.
Ruben Cotter, those type of players.
Yeah.
But the Dragons had a lot of those players, man. And Wayne valued them, and they turned up. And me training, like I was a back rower, so I trained with Bo Scott and Ben Cray every single day.
Yeah.
And Bo Scott flogged the absolute fuck out of me. Hey, look at this. So I was 17. I was there for 3 years, training with grade.
Yeah.
I leave to go to the Knights because I didn't know Wayne was leaving, but I looked at it and kind of went, Bo Scott, Jeremy Smith, Ben Cray, probably not going to play back row. I want to play. I already played a few games. I want to play.
Yeah.
So I move away, go to the Knights. The next year, what does Wayne do? Signs fucking Bo Scott and Jeremy Smith. And then for the next 3 years, Bo flogs the shit out of me again. Mate, I deliberately moved away from that bloke. And he fucking haunts me in my dreams.
He's such a pest, man.
Oh, but again, a Campbelltown St. Greg's player.
Yeah. He wants the best for he wants the best and he wants to win.
He wants to, me and him, I love Bo Scott.
Yep.
I remember we were out one night. And,
massive pest though.
Oh,
Just
mate, the biggest pest.
Oh, fuck.
And he loves it.
He followed me around a whole Mad Monday.
He loves it.
Trying to kill me or something. I don't know what he was trying to do or achieve, but I was followed around a Mad Monday.
Hey, I remember being offered drugs, being out one night, man, and Bo saw it.
Yeah.
And Bo, he come over and he grabbed me and threw me against the wall. He goes, "If you ever touch that stuff when I'm around," he goes, "We're done."
Fucking hell.
And that you need that shit, mate. Like I'm someone that's never done drugs in my whole life, but to see how invested he was in me, that he saw that was going to happen, and he put himself out there. He didn't give a fuck about my friendship. He cared about me as the person.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that happens enough anymore.
It's funny you say that because the same thing happened to me. We're at a party and it was when I was at Bronx, and someone offered me drugs, and I'd never had drugs before and all that kind of stuff. And one of the Bronx boys come over and fucking blew up at the guy and also at me. He's like, fucking don't offer him that cunt. He's fucking 18 years old, rah. But it shows you how much they care. And I remember the moment.
Yeah.
Like out of all the moments I remember my career, I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, me too, man. I can clear as day see it today. I remember where it was.
Whereas like I wonder now, like, can you say that to young fellas? Can you be as abrasive? I don't know. Maybe not.
Mate, I'll say it again. I've been so lucky to be around so many good men and good leaders. Like I was at the Knights, man, and Denny Badiris is there, and Kurt Gidley.
Far out.
But to this day, Willie Mason, he's the most influential person I've ever been around.
Oh, really?
Bro, unbelievable.
Yeah, just lights a room up.
Yeah, man, but then also ultra professional, good trainer, turns up and plays at a high level. And he creates this demeanor and energy in the group that you can't be beaten.
Yeah.
But he come halfway through my first year at the Knights, and he changed our approach to just everything. Like he's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, and Wayne recognised that's what he needed at the Knights.
Okay, so how did the debut come about? Do you remember the phone call or
It's
whatever?
funny, man. So I debuted twice.
Yeah.
So we played Canberra 2009. All right?
2010.
10?
Yeah, 10. Says 10 here anyway.
Okay, we'll run with 10.
Hold on.
I played 20s.
Yep.
Got into a fight. Jack Whiten was a fullback.
Yep.
I come through and accidentally took him out, his legs out on a bomb. Someone grabbed me and I just got into a fight with him. There's 9 minutes left in the 20s game.
Yeah.
I get 7 for 10.
Yep.
So I go back to the sheds, I win stadium, and I start to get unchanged.
Yeah.
Paul Massey comes in. He goes, "All right, young fella, let's go." "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're playing. Wayne's told me to come get you."
What?
I went, What do you mean, man? Like,
Yeah.
Yes. Dan Hunt's tore his Achilles. 2010. It was 2010 because that's the year they won the comp.
Yeah.
And Bubsy didn't play in the final.
Yeah.
2010. And he goes, "Yeah, you're playing." I'm like, "Fuck, all right, man." Like, okay.
Yeah.
Go up, warm up, sit on the bike. I reckon I rode 6-10K on the bike. And close game. and Wayne doesn't put me on. I remember coming into the sheds after it, and a few of the players were just throwing jabs at Wayne just around me not playing. Not to say that I'd make a difference, but just like they were joking.
Yeah, it's a G up.
Just throwing a bit of dirt at him, and Wayne straight face. He goes, "Mate, you haven't earned it." He goes, "One day you will earn it."
Yeah.
He goes, "But you have not earned it."
Yeah. Wow.
And I remember sitting there going, "You're probably right, but I will earn it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to that day, it just stuck with me. And I think there's a debut made this year with the Knights. Oren Keeley got thrown on at the end of the game against Canberra.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you remember that game with Tapine come through, set it up. I think the Knights were up by 16 at one stage, and Canberra come through, turned their season around pretty much, and went on a run and scored right at the end of the game. And sometimes players just aren't put on, man, and they don't earn it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to be willing to take the loss.
Yeah.
And teach someone a lesson.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson that I've taken to this day, man.
Yeah.
And then so 2011.
So that's 2010. You had to wait a whole year.
Another year, man.
Yeah. Wow.
So I trained with NRL that whole year.
Yeah.
I was around when they won the comp and that whole run that they went on.
Yeah.
2011. It's really interesting. So obviously at that time, Dragons just won the comp 2010. They did minor premiers 2009, 2010. So they were stacked. 2011, they had a lot of players playing in State of Origin. I'm pretty sure their whole backline. B-Moz, Darbs, Matt Cooper, Mark Gasnier. I think Jace Nightingale wasn't. He's obviously not playing Origin. But Sowie played that year.
Yeah, Sowie, yeah.
And then the whole pack pretty much. Both Scott, Ben Cray.
Yep.
Dean Young played that year. The first game he got in Origin. Mick Wayman, mate, I'm telling you, everyone was playing. Neville Costigan playing for Queensland. Bro, the whole team.
Yeah.
So Wayne knew that was coming.
Yep.
So he said to me, "You're playing centre. This is when you're playing." He told me about 2 or 3 weeks out. So I'm a back rower, lock. Never played centre my whole life. Like, bro, not one game.
Yep.
Not one game. He goes, he goes, "You're playing centre." I went, okay. But for 3 weeks, because a lot of those players were like playing long minutes, he was saving them training wise during the week, like reducing their load because I'm going to play Origin, so he was giving them a couple of days off. So I was getting reps at right centre for 3 weeks straight, man. And I'll never forget it. Like, they had the first team roll out, so it'd be Mark Gasnier was at right centre. I'd stand behind. I'd watch them do an edge on edge D or whatever it is. Yeah. Then I'd go in. Mark Gasnier would stand behind me. I'd do the rep. Yep. I'd come back. Gaz would go, "Oh, mate, do this. Watch for this." I'd go back in, do the rep, come back, Gaz again. "Hey, mate, do this. Look at this." Yep. Dell was there. Me and Dell got on like a house on fire.
Oh, the great Dell.
I love Dell.
There's only one Dell, that's for
Dell
sure.
was at training as well.
Yep.
I'd come back. "Hey, do this."
Yep.
For 3 weeks straight, mate, they planned it and helped me out.
Yeah.
I go in, never played centre before. We play the Titans at Cogra, Friday night game. I look up. There is Scotty Prince, halfback, the Titans. Clinton Torpy.
Oh, yeah,
was the centre.
He's a gun centre.
Bro, gun. Tough centre. I remember right at the start of the game, there's probably a couple of things that I remember, but one of the things I remember was I was there. I was the first there and first ready. I was ready real early, man.
Yeah.
Everyone else was coming in. I had my boots already done.
You were fully strapped up, fucking baby oil, everything.
2 hours before. And anyway, my feet went numb. My fucking laces were that tight. Anyway, I remember taking a 20 tap, ripping it into like Mark Minicello, LaFranchi, those type of players, Nathan Friend, and just feeling like, oh, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah. It's weird, that feeling, eh?
Yeah,
that
man.
First contact, we like,
oh. I was like, okay, this is all right. I can do this. Like, yeah, that wasn't as hard as what I thought.
Like, I've had bigger hits in New South Wales Cup or Queensland Cup.
I had bigger hits at training, man.
Yeah.
Bobby Scott and Dean Young flogged me for 3 years. I knew, like, what I was in for.
Yeah.
And then from that, man, I just set first touch of the ball inside our own 20. They shifted it from one side. I got the ball one-on-one with Clinton Torpy, right foot, went 80, and got tackled just before the try line. I kind of went, holy fuck, like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
Nightingale was playing fullback. About 5 minutes later, come short side, passed the ball, went on the ground. I picked it up, dived to the corner to try. And then second half, just like a left, where I was on the right side, so just a long shift from the left again, about 30 out, hit a hole under the post. I scored 2 tries on my debut, man. I'm just sitting there going, this is
heaven.
But it's not real.
Yeah.
Not real, hey, like.
What's that feeling like when you get that first try, you go over the line, like?
I felt like I was floating, man.
Yeah.
It still to this day does not feel real. And all the media hype after it. I got man of the match.
Wow.
And my first ever game, I got Wayne, whoever gets man of the match or player's player, you get a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
And Wayne writes on it, player of the player, blah, 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 and the date. I've still got it at home.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah, man. It's on my desk at home.
How good's that?
And I remember after the game, obviously drove myself up. When you play for a Sydney club, you usually drive to a game because it's pretty close. I remember just going and walking out of the sheds and just going and sitting up in Cogra in the stadium.
Oh, really?
Just by myself.
Yeah, just to take
I remember looking out over the stadium and just going, fuck, I've done it, man. Like,
yeah, that's it. Like,
that's it.
Like, there's nothing, it can never be taken away from me. That
No,
even
man.
if it's one game and never again.
I just couldn't.
Made NRL.
Bro, I could not believe it. I'm the only player ever from my local area, like
No way.
Aberdeen, to play NRL.
That's incredible.
Could not believe it, man. Like,
Incredible.
and just.
And
blew
the
me
thing
away.
as well is like, to do it in a club that's just won a premiership, people don't understand how hard it is because you've got the best of the best coming through. Like, to get that spot, you've got to be the best of the best.
I was 19, man, and that group underneath at the Dragons was solid. Kyle Stanley, Cam King, Mez was coming through, Jakey Marquito, Joe Vickery, Dean Vare. It was stacked, man.
Yeah, of people that actually end up playing.
Oh, they
NRL.
go to other clubs and played it. Kay Lynette. They played at so many clubs, man. And the next week, we play the Bronx up in Brisbane. And Wayne goes, well, you just got fucking man of the match. Can't drop you.
Yeah.
So all the players come back from Origin, from Queensland as well, so they go back to the Bronx. And I'm on the bench. Team stacked. Friday night game in Brisbane. Bo Scott gets injured first 5 minutes. I go out and play back row.
Yeah.
I'll never ever forget it. Some things stick with you, man. And this one was, I kick pressure and I look up. Darren Lockyer was the 5'8". Sam Thaiday was the back rower.
Yeah.
Justin Hodges was the right centre.
Wow.
And Gerard Rialyi was the right winger. So I'm sitting at the back row, man, going, this is the Australian right edge.
Yeah. And then what?
He kicked this 40-20, man, Darren Lockyer over my head. And I didn't even know if I kick pressured correctly. But I remember just watching it going, holy fuck. And then he kind of jogged past me. I was just like,
That sound like it.
I really wanted to touch you,
He's got big quads, man. That's why when I first saw Lockie, I was like, bro, you got mad quads, eh? Underrated.
He'd always lead his team out, particularly around final series, and you just go, man, what the fuck? You're just taking something like 2 weeks out from the finals because your legs are just
looking
fucking
massive,
blown up.
Massive. And so you played 3 games that year?
Yeah. We played the Knights 2 weeks later.
Yeah, okay. And so, like, what's the feeling like at this stage? Were you getting quite a big,
I was off contract too, man.
Yeah. Were you getting decent offers from quite a few clubs, or?
Yes, I got, at the time, I didn't see a pathway at the Dragons, and maybe that was...
Impatience?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Broncos.
And I don't regret the move to the Knights because I played first grade consistently for the next 3 years, and coincidentally Wayne made the change there as well before I'd signed anywhere else to the Knights. But I just didn't see the pathway coming through the Dragons. I was like, you know what, I'll just wait. The initial offer that they gave me probably wasn't what I thought I could get, and Para offered me like 500 over 2 years.
Oh, wow. So 250 a year or 500?
200, 300 over 2 years.
Yep, okay.
So 500 over 2 years.
Yep.
The Roosters offered me a really good deal.
Yeah, wow.
And that was it. So I kind of was just waiting, and then I got my agent to ring the Knights. I'm like, mate, I'm from there. I want to go back to Newcastle.
Yep.
I'm playing good footy. Why aren't they getting back to you? Like, why can't I go there?
Yeah.
But I didn't realise that Wayne was going there, and they'd frozen all the negotiations, the contracts.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So Wayne, everyone thought, and I was living with Dubs at the time.
Yeah.
So I've got the inside run on what's going on.
Yep.
Because Dubs was following Wayne no matter what.
Yeah.
Dragons offered him a big deal. Wayne was going to Souths. So Dubs had a contract offer from Souths.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
So I'm sitting there going, fuck, like, maybe I could just live with Dubs and I'll go wherever he goes. We get on really well.
Yep.
He's been good for me.
And you like Wayne as well.
Like Wayne.
Yep.
Why not?
Mm.
And then Dubs comes back to me one day and he goes, oh, I think Wayne's going to Newcastle. I said, what?
Yeah.
He goes,
what?
mate, he goes, I think he's going to Newcastle. George Mimas, who's Dubs' agent, he goes, George just told me that we might be going to Newcastle.
Mm.
I said, would you go? He goes, yeah. I said, fuck, all right. Like, and then the Knights obviously was just owned by Tinkler at the time.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. That experience, having a private owner like Tinkler, hectic.
What was it like? What?
Bro, our first preseason there, like went out to his stud. He showed us all his stallions that he owned. We had a party at this massive stud farm that he's got. He then met us back out at a club in Newcastle. He rented the whole joint out for us.
Mm.
Just no expenses spared, man.
Really?
For a period of time.
Yeah.
Till about halfway through the first year.
Oh,
Then
really?
we recognised like our super wasn't getting paid. Pay was late. A few different things. And I'm not a young kid, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
When you start to recognise the older players are starting to get a bit disturbed and going, oh, something's going on here, you start to go, oh, fuck.
How many months do you reckon it went with, like, not getting paid and that, where eventually the older players were like, hang on a sec. Was it like 2 months, you reckon?
It was kind of mid-year.
Mm.
Yeah. That was the first year we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, as in, like, let's say they didn't get paid 1 month and they got told, oh, no, it's coming. It's just some.
It always just delayed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then recognised the super wasn't getting paid because I think the law is you don't have to pay super 6 months. You can hold it for 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was always paid. We didn't miss a pay.
It was just a bit late.
It was late.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like,
Very weird.
yeah, it was just strange, man.
And so, how did it, what was it like internally, this absolute disaster that has just occurred?
And then he would come into the dressing sheds and stuff after game, and you kind of going, just really, there's a dynamic that I've never seen before.
Mm.
I remember, I've got no qualms with Tinkler at all. He's always been good to me.
Mm.
But I remember he sprayed a few players after a game one day, and I'll never ever forget it, mate. Wayne come into the dressing sheds the next day, and he goes, if ever that happens again, or if ever you guys feel that you're being criticised or you don't want to be at this club or you've been told you're not going to be at this club by anyone else but me, he goes, I'll be the first to go.
Yeah,
Goes,
wow.
Not you.
Yeah,
goes,
wow.
I run the show here,
Yeah.
not him, and he knows it.
Yeah. And it's true. You can't have your coach being undermined by,
Bro, at that time, that was 2013, all right?
Mm.
2013 was a bit of a rocky start for the Knights, but then we got on a run.
Mm.
And he made a decision at that time to play Tyrone Roberts at halfback.
Mm.
Young kid, but Wayne backed him. And I believe that Tinks was not sure and he was criticised him a little bit. Wayne backed him, man.
Mm.
We went on a run, a massive run, and we got beat by the Roosters one before the GF. They had Sonny Bill and everyone.
They won it that year.
Bro, they won it.
Yeah.
They blew them away in the final.
Yeah, wow.
But just an interesting dynamic having a private owner that he was keen to be in and amongst it.
Yeah, yeah.
And just the turmoil that it kind of created. It just didn't sit well with it wasn't in sync with
It's hard to balance.
the Knights or the Newcastle culture.
Mm.
And it's a hard working town, man.
Yeah.
It's not used to having a millionaire,
Mm.
a billionaire, whatever he was. Like,
I don't know. What's he doing now? Is he just chilling somewhere or?
I'm not sure, man. But yeah, it's so just so interesting. And
Yeah.
to go back after I was at the Dragons, I was off contract. My last game, I played against the Knights for the Dragons, and I come off. We went for dinner after it, the whole group as a team, and Wayne sat down next to me. I think, fuck, I'm in trouble here.
Yeah.
He goes, "You want to come to Newcastle with me?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Sweet, I'll get it sorted for you." I went, "Okay."
Far
Oh, he
out.
could have said, "Do you want to go and play for Warriors?"
He would have said,
I'm like, "Yeah, sweet, let's go."
Or,
You know what? Whatever you say, coach. But sweet, like from that point, then got the deal done next few weeks. And
Yep.
it was always with Wayne, he always had consistency with the people around him, man. And some few players always followed him. Head of performance, Jeremy Hickmans was always there.
The great Jeremy.
But you coming through, like I had the same head of conditioning and same weight coach from 16.
Yeah, wow.
Like, bro, when I come into first grade, they knew my deficiency straight away.
Yeah.
They knew what I needed to improve on. And everyone respected them.
Yeah.
And you weren't wasting time doing a new program or trying something new. They know you, man.
Yeah.
And look at the Bronx. When they were flying, they had consistency with all their staff.
Yeah. Dan Baker was our
man.
weights coach forever. He was so good.
Yeah, you look at the good clubs when they've had good runs. Look at the Roosters, Trav Tuma. They had him for a good block, man.
Yeah.
And consistency in their assistant coaches, consistency at coach. Like there's no secret, man.
You also played for the junior Kangaroos.
Yeah.
And you also you named it second row for the inaugural under-20 State of Origin match. What was it like playing for New South Wales under-20s first match?
It was the best, man, because it never had that team before. And a lot of NRL players went back and played in that.
Yeah.
And it's a story in itself, but I'm the same age as Boyd Cordner. And he was always my biggest competitor. He was always touted as the way he went about his footy was how you want to go about your football.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the old-fashioned, hard player, Bradley Clyde, future Origin captain.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So I always chased Boyd.
Yeah.
From day dot, man. Under 20s, I think it was when we were 16, there's only 3 of us that debuted. It was him, me, and William Hopewadi.
Oh, really?
So we're all the youngest to debut.
Yeah.
In that first year at 16. And he was always someone that I chased. And Boyd had a couple of injuries through our juniors, so I made a few sides when he wasn't even in because he was injured. But he played first grade at a young age.
Yep.
And he was someone I always chased. So being able to play with him in that Origin game, he was the left back row, I was the right, and I loved it, man.
Yeah.
Like loved it, frothed it.
Yeah. That was a lot putting the Blues jersey on.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
The best. Dean Pay was the coach. The Queensland teams at that time was stacked, man. Like Tom Malolo was playing for Queensland. Papali was playing for Queensland. Bro, I played an Origin under 18s Origin up in Suncorp. You probably find the footage of this as well. Papali flogged the fuck out of someone, mate.
Oh.
I scored a try at the end of the game, and people were still on top of me.
Yeah.
And one bloke pulled Papali off.
Yeah.
Bro, he got up and just shredded this bloke. I'm still on the ground just looking up going, what the fuck is going on here?
Holy shit.
That Canberra team now, mate, between him and Jack Whiten.
Oh, mate.
Just
stay away.
Do what you want, man.
100%.
Just that battle. We always had a good age group. Tom Ololo, Papali. It was just stacked, man. And even like my age group, even the year above, particularly my position, like Boyd Cordner, Josh Jackson, Finucane, and Jack DeBellin later on. It's just a good bunch of solid, hard-working players, and I aspired to be what they were doing. And playing in those junior rep teams, particularly that side, was cool, man. I got to spend a week with Boyd, and he's from Taree, I'm from Aberdeen. It's not too far away, but our careers were always kind of aligned along the way, and I still talk to him today and have the utmost respect for him. I love him,
Yeah, he's
but he's someone that I always chased, mate, and it was cool to play in.
And so 2013, you guys make the prelim. What was that like, making that prelim?
So the game before the prelim, we played the Storm.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
So we finished 7th and Storm got beat against the Dogs, I think, or got beat by someone in the round 1 of the semis. So that means that they didn't get the week off.
Yep.
They had to play us. And we went down to Melbourne and we beat them down there.
Crazy.
And hectic, man. Probably one of my favourite games ever because, I don't know, it was just such a battle we did up against it. The team was stacked. And I felt like I had an impact on the game down there. And the week after, by the Roosters in the prelim.
Yeah.
Again, their team's stacked.
Oh, bro, joke.
Oh, two of us, Shaq, Sonny Bill Williams,
Jennings, Maloney,
Pierce, Hardgraves, Friend. Yeah, Aiden Guerra was there,
Minicello.
Yeah, man, they're
Crazy, isn't it?
Oh, stacked.
Stacked.
Yeah, and Luke O'Donnell on the bench.
The wild man.
Frank Paul Nuasala.
Oh, my God.
They were just coming off the fence.
Yep.
It was hectic. Mitch Orbison.
Yeah, the great Orbo.
Their team was stacked.
Yeah.
And Danny Badiris got knocked out in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, far.
Yeah, his last game ever. And, from that, we're probably up against it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But cool experience, stadium packed. They go on to win the comp.
Yep.
Hectic.
Mate, to think, and this is no disrespect to the Knights now, but like to think of them in a prelim, like bloody crazy.
When you retire, you're probably tough on yourself, but then you get to a point where you can actually appreciate and be grateful.
Yeah.
Bro, I played 3 finals games.
Yeah.
Like there's some, to no disrespect, there's players that have played for 10 years at the Knights, but they haven't played 3 finals games.
Yeah, I know.
And for me, I'm really grateful to experience that at that high level, and to see how those good players play under pressure, and to see
new level, bro.
See what's important and what wins at that level. And there's definitely no secret to it.
2014, I'm assuming you're quite confident. You've made junior Kangaroos, you've made the under 20s Origin side. You guys make the prelim. At this stage, was the club falling apart in regards to the Tinkler thing, or not really?
Wayne was so good at it, mate.
Just protected everyone.
Yeah,
from it?
He just protected everyone. Everyone felt comfortable. He made sure everyone got paid.
Yeah.
It wasn't as luxurious as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it was what it was. And we had a good group, man. Yeah. Like, we had a really good bunch of guys that just got on. Like Jared Mullen and Mace was there. Chris Houston, Kurt Gidley, Danny Badiris, me, Robbie Rockow, Corbin Sims, BJ Lalua, Akuyuate was pretty cool. Gags. We had a really cool, good bunch. We played together for a lot, and we were excited, man. We needed to make them. We didn't have the best year, 2013. We obviously finished in the prelim, but that year round was not great. And coming into the next year, we just signed Russell Packer. So he was there in October, so we were just training with him before we went back to preseason. So we were ready to go, man. We were stacked. Cade Snowden was in front row. Neville Costigan. We had a good side, man. We're ready to make the leap. It's
so you start the year and you're in your own personally, you're probably in the best headspace, most confident space you've probably been in your whole career.
Yeah.
Thinking like, I'm a first grader now, I'm ready to go, make a difference. And obviously round 3, the injury happens. Is it just like one of those things where you're almost sick of talking about it, or is it important, you think, to get the message across of fighting through adversity?
Well, I think for the people that want to hear it, and I think there's obviously a lot of lessons in it. The last few weeks in the NFL, at Damar Hamlin, Bill's safety, it's been a really interesting moment for me, which might sound weird, but he had a heart attack on the field, and the game got called off. And for the next week, it was a bit of mourning and silence, and people sat back and just hoped this guy was all right. And for me to sit back now, 9 years after my injury, and to see that, it was a bit triggering for me, mate, to be honest, because I saw how everybody else saw it. Like, I dealt with it when I got injured. Was it tough? Fucking oath, man. Like, I remember getting injured, laying there. I remember going into hospital. I had 2 surgeries on my neck post that. I remember the come down from the drugs and being in an induced coma, having pneumonia for about a week, and like temperatures of like 39, when mum and dad being told that I was going to die.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was fucking hectic.
Yeah.
And then just to see all the media interest and just something I just wasn't ready for.
I mean, who could be ready for it?
Nah, man, not. And then also to then face all these changes, and then because I wasn't as able to do things, I've become very insular and isolated, particularly when I moved back to Newcastle. I was just by myself, man.
Yeah, wow.
Like, my partner Tegan was unbelievable and always there with me. But I would push her away to make sure she had life as well. She goes back to work. She went to uni.
Because you love her. You want her to be happy.
Bro, 100%. I don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
But then I didn't feel comfortable to go and do things because I didn't like the way I looked.
Yeah.
I didn't like the clothes I wore.
Yeah.
I didn't like that I wasn't able to train certain parts of my body to make them better because I always had control of that.
Yeah.
And to adjust to greeting people and being insecure and all these fucking things, man.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting at home for, say I got injured in the March, say 2015 rolled around. We moved back home after hospital and stuff like that. Tegan went to work. All my mates are back playing footy. Dubs goes back to Brizzy.
Yep.
Wayne goes to Brizzy. Everyone kind of is doing their own thing. And I don't want to be a burden, so I just sit at home. Bro, I sat at home for about 3 or 4 months, like in my old house because I was building another house. So just riding the wave, man. Like I wouldn't say that I definitely would thought about suicide and that type of stuff, but I was never at that point. Like I just knew I was in the weeds of it, Like I always look at challenges like that as conditioning. Like you think about when you go into fitness and you have this great intention, you go and do it. It's fucking hard. You want to quit, but you get to the end and you go, oh, fuck, I'm glad I done that.
Yeah.
And then you feel that euphoria of completing something. And I just knew I was I was at the bottom, man. I remember doing the 60 minutes at that time when I was at home and just crazy. Hey, I didn't really have a lot of communication with people outside, friends, family. I just remember being by myself for that period of time, going through what I was going through. And
do you think it would have helped for some, like, I know it's easy to say, but like for someone to just not guide you, but I guess just something to bounce off, just to talk to and get
it's funny, man, because I remember being in hospital in rehab. I was in hospital and I really benefited from becoming friends with a lot of those people in that on that spinal cord ward. 30 people that face the same thing, handle it differently, different external challenges, but still we had the common goal. I felt really comfortable with them. Leaving that, I didn't maintain any relationships with them because it might sound weird, but I didn't want to be restricted to what I could become. And a lot of those people started to become really negative, and I'm like, I can't be around that. Like, if I hang around normal people or ambition to do that, then I'll start to normalize my situation and I'll unvolve. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, it is. But I was done being comfortable. I needed to grow, man. And but going home, not having any connection with anyone from hospital or anything like that, just fucking tough, eh?
Oh, mate, I can even.
And then when we did the 60 minutes, man, like I got so much exposure from that, and I was just like, oh, whoa. I didn't realize like the exposure that it was going to have. Like I had no idea, man. Rolled out in before Origin 3. And it got made into like a New South Wales versus Queensland thing, and it was never the case. Like it was just so crazy, man.
Like once you're given the interview, just speaking about you specifically and your situation, but once that's given over to someone, it can be. No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. No. It can be turned into what they want it to be.
Yeah, and I think as well, not to say that that's what happened, but I watched it naively thinking, oh, I'm sure it was done that way, but like I wasn't picking everything out. If I was to do something like that today, bro, I'm analysing everything. I'm thinking, okay, who would think this? I'm thinking, okay, this is the product. Sweet. Okay, I'll tick that off. I remember watching it going, oh, yeah, sweet. Get on with me day. Like, I remember they asked me, I was at that time, mate, I was so fucking angry, hey, before I'd done the interview. Just like bitter on everyone, man.
Which is
like,
understandable. And that's what I mean in regards to like
hating myself, didn't want to be around anyone, so angry at the Storm, so angry at players involved, comments made after, like fucking so angry, man. And loosely just saying stuff in the interview because it was just like I didn't recognise the enormity of it. Bro, that's to this day, it's the highest ever rating, 60 minutes.
Wow.
It's like 2 million people.
Far out.
Like hectic, crazy, man. And post that, it was a really good thing to happen for me. To go back 1 sec, I remember 60 Minutes asking me, we want to interview Cameron Smith. I said, if you interview Cameron Smith, I'm not doing the 60 Minutes.
Wow.
I didn't recognise that how that segment of the interview was going to be portrayed and received. But I was just thinking, no, this story's about me. I'm not having a go at anyone. this is my story. I'll tell it how I want to tell it, and that's just what it is. But right of return and the way you meant to do stuff is how it was positioned. It probably should have been given the opportunity to chat on that. But I was like, that's my story, mate. That's how it is. But that story in a nutshell, mate, it changed my life, particularly after being injured, because it made me recognise, one, watching yourself, going, fuck, I don't like the way I look. That doesn't sound right, man.
Yeah.
And then also watching it be received and go, they're probably fucking right with some things that was said about how I said things and how it was perceived and whether I was okay with that or not. Like, you take good and bad feedback on board, mate. I remember sitting at home going, I'm not an angry person, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a bitter person. This was an accident. I mean, it was something which they did not, one, go out there to do. And Cameron Smith made a few comments after, but it's not his fault. He's competitive and he didn't recognise that I was injured. So it made me take a backward step and go, fuck, I'm in the wrong here, man. I remember calling Matty Johns because I knew Matty. He was working at Triple M, and Triple M was the one that kind of released a lot of media around the interview, and I was dirty at Triple M. And I remember calling Matty. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, man? Like, you guys have positioned me as someone that blah, 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 that's put this hate attack on Cameron Smith, and definitely not the case. And he goes, mate, you're carrying a lot of anger. He goes, the biggest thing that you can do, mate, and the best advice I can give you is you need to forgive and you need to move on. And I remember going, you're right, Matty. Like, I need to forgive, I need to move on, and it is what it is. I said, well, can you send me Cameron Smith's number? I want to call him. Yeah. So I remember sitting at home, I messaged him, I said, it's Alex, blah, blah, blah. I want to give you a buzz. I think it was just after Origin, they played the Warriors over there, and he goes, I'll call you at this time. So I remember sitting at home fucking
stressing.
Bro, I'm a 22-year-old kid still.
Cam Smith,
He's the king.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home going, fuck, I've had this injury. I'm now in a position where I've talked to Matty Johns, who I probably wouldn't have really spoken to like that as a player. I'm now waiting for a call from Cameron Smith, who I played against, but he's like on another level. I'm like freaking out, man. I remember he'd been calling me. He goes, hey, mate, how you going? I said, I'm good, mate. I said, I just want to apologise. And he goes, oh, okay. I said, look, I recognise you guys didn't go out there to do that. And has it changed my life? Yeah, but it's changed your life as well. And particularly the people involved. I said, so I just want to move on. And I think a lot of people around me, friends included, always carried hate and anger because they wanted to look like they were on my side. Which added to the fact that I was like, yeah, all right, fuck them, if they want to be on my side. Like, that's how we'll approach it. But post that, I endeavoured and actively would tell my friends, hey, move on. Like, we're done here. Yeah. Bro, you can't carry hate. Too heavy.
Oh, mate.
In anything you do, man.
Yeah.
You need to forgive, mate. If you can, if you have the quality to be able to forgive and move on,
it's a superpower.
Bro, change your life. Yeah. And to this day, mate, I believe it's one of my best traits. Like, I don't hate anyone, man. Yeah. Do something to my kids, probably different story. Yeah. Anything else, to me, okay.
Yeah, it is whatever.
It is what it is, man. Like, but that ability that I learnt through that process is life changing, and to learn that 22, it changed my life, man. Post that, I remember getting a phone call from Wayne, and he always checked in on me. He goes, "What are you up to?" And I'm always pretty good at not shifting blame, but being able to make sure I'm okay. Like, don't worry about me, I'm all right.
Diffuse the situation.
I'll get over it. Don't worry. What are you up to? Yeah. What are you doing? And I kind of did that better in the bush. Like, what are you up to, coach? Like, where's the Bronx going? He goes, no. He goes, what are you doing? Yeah. I'm like, not much, eh?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, fucking nothing. Sitting at home. Like, he goes, well, how about you start fucking doing something? Yeah. I went, all right. He goes, find some actions in your life, Alex. Yeah. What's happened to you is devastating. He goes, but you need to fucking move on. Yeah. He goes, and it's time now to find actions in your life and move on. He goes, we know you're okay. Yeah. He goes, we know you can handle it. It's time to move on. And at that point, mate, I just went, he's a guy who probably knows me better than I know myself. And he's just kicked me in the ass when I'm at my fucking lowest. Yeah. Yeah. but he knew me better than I knew myself, mate.
Yeah.
And he knew I'd respond. And it changed my life, mate. That string of events, 2015, has changed my life, mate. And yeah, the injury obviously changed my life, but that period with the 60 minutes, Cameron Smith, forgiveness, moving into that really rocket from Wayne, it made me want to take control of my life and recognise there are some things that I can't do, be at peace with that, and identify the things that you can do. Get some understanding of what living with a spinal cord injury is like. And take some control back there.
Yeah.
Educate yourself, mate. You don't like what you wear? Fucking go and buy new shit.
Yeah.
Try different stuff on. And you don't like being by yourself? Get out.
Yeah.
Like, go and meet people. Get out of your comfort zone. Listen to a podcast. Go to an art gallery. There's a lot of things that I used to do. It was quite active. I love mowing the lawn. I love fucking walking the dog. A lot of things I used to do. I used to go for a run, go to the gym. A lot of my activities were very physical and active.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do those anymore. So I had to start trying new shit, man.
Yeah.
And start to become really interested in the NFL. I mean, start to look into whatever would pop up, I'd be interested. You know, and I used to be someone that was just footy, and you think I'm weird. No, this is me. I identify as a football player. I'm fucking happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make it work. But post that through forgiveness and being needed to learn and change, bro, I'm an open book now. You want to talk to me about fucking art, I will listen to you all day.
Yeah.
I've got time.
It's interesting, like, I think a lot of athletes aren't aware and you're clearly aware of it. Like, for example, when I got anxiety, I'll just go for a run. I'll just start running. And that's the way I get out of it. Like, and it sounds stupid, but that's just how I deal with shit, is just to tell myself up.
Yeah.
And like, that's taken away from
I do
me.
the exact same. I would have done the exact same thing, mate.
And in regards to that whole situation, like, when you're in as much pain as you are and hurt, like, you're not yourself. Like, you're like, and obviously understandable pain. Like, everyone can understand it's being like, wow, man, you're really struggling at the moment. But it's very hard to communicate your true feelings when even you are still kind of mixed up, you know?
Yeah, man. Hated the situation I was in. Could only see the people that the incident occurred with and fucking hated them for it.
Yeah. Which is, look, I can't say I'd be any better, honestly.
Then had to sit, didn't have to, got paid to do it, but did an interview with 60 Minutes and I say social media, or I had a platform where people wanted to know and had to kind of find my way through the weeds along the way and learn a lot of lessons along the way, man. But I used to hate people going, hey, Alex, how you going? You all right, mate? What are you doing now? Like, fuck, mate, leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
But then I got to the point where I'm like, 99.99% of the people that say, hey, Alex, how you going? Want to know and want me to be okay.
They care.
They care, mate.
Yeah.
And for me, it made me really recognise and go, they give a fuck, mate. Like, show up. Like, you can actually help them and you can actually do something and play a part in this. And when I started to recognise that, I went, you know what, can actually contribute here, and people give a fuck.
Yeah.
Stop being,
worrying about the bad instead of the...
They're not looking at you like, shit, your shirt doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Or, fuck, you need to go to the toilet. Or, wait, what? Like, gee, you lost a bit of weight.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about that, mate.
No, they're not even looking at that.
And, like 2022, mate, for me was a year where I went through a divorce, had twins, started uni, left working at the nights in January. It's been a year of challenges and that. But the biggest thing that I learnt, mate, about that is just not to assume things.
Yeah.
I mean, and across all aspects of life. I mean, not to assume that somebody else thinks something, or not to assume that you can control this person's actions, or be comfortable with yourself, go about how you want to go about it.
Yeah.
With the values that you're aligned with, and be clear with those in the decisions that you make. But don't assume people for what the other people see it a different way, mate. Be happy with how you see it, and don't be so insecure.
I mean, I still struggle with insecurity, mate. So
mate, and it's a challenge everyone has every day.
One of like, it's not a positive because of what happened, but I mean, to have a whole stadium, cheering for you, like, that's special, man.
Yeah,
like 99.9% of human beings don't get that.
I hated it, man.
At the time, I assume you
hated it. I didn't want to go.
Yeah, wow.
I remember sitting there. I told my mum and dad, I said, I'm not fucking going. I said, why? I said, I don't want to be a burden to other people.
Yeah.
It's not their job. It's not their job, man.
Yeah.
I'm an independent person. I don't want to be seen like someone that needs help. But and then I remember Dave Smith was sitting there with me. He goes, mate, you got to go. I'm like, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I remember going there and leading the Knights team out. I always wanted to be a captain, man. I captained a lot of junior teams and leading that team out against the Titans by myself. I was like, this is what I wanted to do, man. I wanted to captain the Knights. That's what I wanted to do. Like, that was my main goal. I wanted to win, yeah. But I like being a leader. I like helping people. And
for you, you're sitting there going, I don't want to feel like a burden, but you're actually giving something. Even me watching it was like, this is fucking incredible. You're actually giving a lot to a lot of people.
People want to help, man.
Yeah, and it makes them feel good.
100%.
You know?
Yep. And regardless of how you're feeling on the day, it's not about you, mate. It is what it is. Don't feel well? Okay, show up. You can help other people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't really recognise the role and how big it was. Like I said, that Damar Hanlon, the NFL player that got injured recently, kind of gave me a glimpse of the enormity of it.
Yeah. Did you get a feeling though of like the compassion that a lot of people felt?
Yeah.
You know, because like we felt that for you at the time.
Yeah, it was. I don't accept that, man. And not to get too deep, but I still struggle with it today. Like, I'm happy to provide service and help people. I don't like to receive it.
Yeah, I'm the same, bro.
I don't, man.
Yeah.
In a relationship, a friendship,
yeah.
I've always wanted to be someone that provided.
Yeah.
And it was a real struggle for me as in a relationship or a friendship or the way I go about me approaching life. But being someone of service that's me.
Yeah.
But then being able to recognise that, hey, you can't do this, you can't mow someone's lawn, you can't cook someone dinner how you used to do it. But there's other ways that you can do that and be active in trying to find those ways. And that's the journey that I'm still on today, and not to become complacent on restricting your stuff with technology and things that improve. It creates opportunity to do a lot more stuff, which is a blessing with the world that we live in today. Yeah.
It's interesting, like because you were so successful, it was all about hard work, you know, not taking handouts, none of that kind of stuff. It's about like earning your keep and all that kind of stuff. Man. And it's really hard to switch that off when people, sometimes the easiest thing is giving service to other people and the hardest thing is receiving that love back. And it's just as important.
Yeah.
It's just as important.
For sure, man. Not that I hadn't had love from my family and my partner Tegan showed me the greatest love.
Yeah.
I probably only really started to learn how to receive it when I had kids.
Yeah.
Like seeing that like that devoted love for you no matter what. Yeah.
They're just so happy. Man. They're so happy.
Yeah. And it definitely helps with insecurity and doubt, and that it calms a lot of things. Gives you a clear purpose on what you're about. And my 3 girls is a blessing for me, mate. And I love being a dad and being able to go back to uni this year and lead the Knights, having a really good balance with being dad and spending a lot of time with them.
Yep.
Going to uni, valuing my relationship with Tegan, co-parenting there. And it's been really important to me, mate. And I'm really excited about 2023 because I feel like I've faced a lot in the last few years, and it definitely learned a lot as well.
So you had 2 little young girls?
So I've got a 4-year-old girl called Harriet.
Yeah.
And I've got identical twin girls.
No way.
That are about 20 months old.
I mean, like, what a
Audrey
blessing.
and Violet.
What a blessing.
Bro, fucking hectic.
Like, what a blessing.
But it's the best, man. It's the best. Like that love that you have for them, and it's yeah. I remember when we found out we're having the twins, Tegan was pissing herself laughing, and I'm like crying, speechless. Like, what? I was obviously freaking out about the role that I play as a dad, very different to how I would have perceived it before. And that journey in itself, being a dad to Harriet, has been a crazy journey, like learning different ways to do stuff and connection. And so I was like, okay, we're going to have another kid. Sweet. I think I got this down pat now. Like, I'm going to be right. I've learned a few things.
Yeah,
I'm going to be right. Yep. Sitting in there, you're having twins. I'm like, fucking, I'm out of here. Like,
beauty.
I thought I had it. I thought I was sweet. I thought I knew what I was doing. I can really be a valued member of this. I know what I'm doing now. And then they hit us with twins. I just went, bro, what am I doing? Like, no, you don't. You get to the spot now where they are what they are, and you would never change it.
Yeah,
They're fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Like the way they fight each other, and it's the best. Bro, it's the best ever. But a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
And it offers a new challenge every day.
Yeah. And so, you know, you obviously you go through that process and you eventually find the space to get forgiven that. When did you begin to find passion to becoming a recruitment officer?
Yeah. So I kind of looked at that post that period of time, and I kind of went, I don't want to be restricted physically in whatever I do. If I'm going to put myself out there professionally to be judged and being able to contribute to a team, I don't want to be limited. So, for example, I don't want to do a job at the Knights and not able to fulfill the capacity of that fully.
Yeah.
Because it would just fucking frustrate me. And I feel like I'm letting someone down. So I remember kind of just sitting there going, you know what, recruitment's something which I do have a passion for. And I'm still young, 22, 23 at that time. I know the current players. And it's something which I can really fulfill. Like there's no physical limitation. Travel, yeah, a little bit, but I can still get on a plane. I can drive. I can. And Newcastle's very dominant football area, so it actually helped me just recruit local kids, and watch kids in Sydney and that type of stuff. And I already had some relationships with agents.
Yep.
So I just saw it as a role that I could actually fulfill, and I enjoyed it, and started to really obsess on it and loved it.
Is there any young kid that you've looked at and gone, mate, he is going to be special?
Right now?
Yeah.
Or like when I was first coming, like...
Or maybe someone that ended up being as gun as you thought he'd be, and then someone that's right now.
Funny you watch so many games and you...
It blows into one.
Blurs into one, but you remember performances. And... Yeah, well, there's so many. It's funny. I've got my phone that I've had since 2017.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't delete messages.
Yep.
So if I sit here right now and go punch Reece Walsh's name into my messages, me and the recruitment managers of that time, the notes and the conversations will come up.
Of Reece Walsh.
Yeah, bro, easy. Like they had a group up there in Queensland at that time, which was like Tino, Fafita, Reece Walsh, Tessie New. There's more than that. Serlin Cobbo. That group was kind of 15 when I first started in that. And they're superstars, man.
Yeah.
And I got notes on all of them, like player I love, and he's coming through now. I love Griffin Neen.
Griffin Neen?
Yeah, up at the Cowboys. Kiwi, red, white.
Oh, yeah.
White, ready hair.
And Tom Gilbert went to the Dolphins. Yeah,
right.
Griffin Neen. Yeah, he's good, man.
Love him.
He's good. He come on towards the back end of the year really well.
Yeah, man. Watched a heap.
He's a Kiwi, eh?
Yeah, Kiwi, yeah.
Kiwi.
He's the modern day front row. I think he could be pretty special. But I think in a snapshot, you look at the season this year, like there's been a lot of movement, and there's a lot of young players that are going to emerge, mate, and get their opportunity. I love that player that probably hasn't maybe played 10 to 15 games but hasn't grabbed their opportunity. I think there's a lot of those guys popping up at other clubs, and it's exciting. And knowing those guys and watching them come through, you know they've got talent, but it's just interesting to see the ones that can pop through and consistently play out really well. But yeah, it's exciting, man. I still obsess on it now. I talk to agents every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, bro, coming to the end of November this year, after having a year out and loving uni, I was that close to taking gigs back in the NRL because I was, and when you feel like you're good at something and you get paid to do it, you tend to go, you know what, I might do that again.
Yeah.
Because you're confident in your ability, you get paid to do it. And it's that feedback mechanism. Do something, get appreciated for it, get paid for it. They play well, ride the wave, start again. It's very addictive, man.
Yeah.
And being at uni, it's great. I love it. But it's not the...
Doesn't have the heights of that, you know.
The process of signing Dom Young, man.
Yeah.
I saw him in a local under-18s English county game. Never met him.
Yeah.
Ever. talked to Dad. Instagram. I messaged him on Twitter. Got his dad's number. Called Dad. Dad's fucking huge. Called Dad. Was in a conversation with him for about 4 months. Never met them. Signed him. We faced COVID. He can't come over here. He can't play in the Super League that year because he's like 18. He turns up to my house, man. I'll never ever forget it. It was end of December. He come out late because of COVID. It was hard to get people flights in and out of the country. He turned up, bro, to my house in a Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers jersey, and I got an electric button just to open the door. I remember opening the door and him just standing there. I just went, holy fuck, this bloke is huge. Bro, and then him rocking up to training, every single training session. I'm sitting there watching going, fuck, I hope he does well. Like just riding the wave. He'll train shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Stings you.
Stings you, man. He comes out and does well and you're like, oh, fuck, he's going to go well here.
Yeah.
You just ride the wave, man.
And what he turned into this year, you must have been sitting there going, oh, my God.
Yeah, 100%. Then you can't help but go, look at other different things. Jacob Carraz, we signed Jacob Carraz to the Knights. He leaves the Knights and goes to the Dogs and fucking explodes. Really happy for him.
Yeah.
You definitely become connected to the player and hoping that they do well. You definitely care about the result for the team. But I was someone that when you start to promise things to players and build relationships with families, you just want the player to do well, man. And to be honest, the club doesn't really, sounds weird, matter. You just want the player to do well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because you have that deep connection with the family.
Yeah, man. And you become friends with them.
Yeah.
Like Jock Madden was someone that he was 15 when I started at the Knights. I knew him from Scone, but Jock Madden was at the Knights as a junior, went to the West Tigers, played a couple of games at West Tigers. The Broncos had just signed him on a 2-year deal up there. I think he could be a Tom Dearden. And
wow.
And they've already got Ezra Mann, but Adam Reynolds is at the back end of his career. He's probably got 1 or 2 really good solid years in him. But that combination of Jock Madden and Ezra Mann is something which I think the club could really grow with. So seeing those young guys come through and emerge, it's exciting, mate.
Yeah.
I love seeing it.
And I can imagine getting addicted to that for sure.
Oh, bro, you get so addicted to it. And you chase it and you chase players and you try and get Selwyn Cobbo, you try and get Reece Walsh, you try and get all these young superstars coming through. The best.
Now, I'll ask all the boys this, favourite rapper of all time. If you're not a rap man, it can be country music, it can be whatever.
I love rap. I love Eminem.
Yeah, he's a goat.
Yeah. Love Eminem. I listen to a heap of different music. But yeah, Eminem's definitely number one.
Favourite movie of all time?
I love Harry Potter. But just a feel-good movie. I love Notting Hill.
Notting Hill, eh?
Yeah, bro.
You love a rom-com.
Yeah.
You're a rom-com man, eh?
Just flick it on.
Stop it. Mate, thank you so much for coming on. What an incredible journey. Seriously. Can't wait to see what you end up doing. Thank you so much.
All good, man. I've loved being here and glad to get in.
Boom.